Okay, so welcome. I'm sitting here with the wonderful Jeanne. Jeanne is part of our Thrivership School program, and we're going to be talking a little bit about Jeanne's experience in Thrivership School. She has not heard the questions I'm going to be asking her. She's probably a little bit nervous right now, but it's all good. And we're doing this for you to just get a little bit of an insight of what goes on in Thrivership School and share a little bit of Jeanne's story. So tell us, Jeanne, a little bit about you. And if you want to share a little bit about your breast cancer story, feel free, but you don't have to. Just a little bit about you.
So I'm an only child. I was diagnosed last year. Cancer is something that I've always feared. My mother lost her mother when I was an infant, and I always thought that it would take my mother and then take me. Just over 20 years ago, my mother was diagnosed. She's doing fine. We did everything together, which really helped. But then that clock started for my own self. With her diagnosis and with me seeing her nurses push her chemo medications, I decided that I was on the wrong path for work and that I needed to go back to school and be a nurse. So 3 schools later, I've now been a nurse for 15 years. I love what I do. I've actually been blessed with an opportunity to work with the nurses that actually took care of me, to work with my radiation oncologist, and to work with my radiation therapist. And I've been there since January. And it's an amazing gift. I think it's the biggest part of my healing is actually working alongside them.
Yeah, and giving back, right? It's that feeling of being able to give back to the community that was helpful to you. That's awesome. It's amazing. I love what you do. So when you first looked at working with me in Thrivership School, what were you specifically looking for help with?
To be happy is the biggest thing. To live, to learn how to live and be happy, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
It doesn't. Like, to me, it feels like everything's compartmentalized, but just to move past that breast cancer diagnosis and live again and know that it's okay to live again.
Yeah, love it. What, if you can think back, right? Because at this point, you've been in Thrivership School for about 3 months. What was going on in your life that had you really struggling at that point? If you can pinpoint either what you were thinking or something specific that was going on in your life where you was really struggling.
So I'd gone through another scare, which ended up turning out okay. My dear friend had just lost her mother to lung cancer. I was now working in this new job, and just everything was just overwhelming at the same time. Like, I felt like I was spinning out of control and had no clue how to ground myself again.
I think that's something a lot of people can probably relate to, because I think it's just like it feels, and let me know, but I know that even I felt overwhelmed and like, where's my roadmap, right? What am I supposed to do now? Where do I go? What's my best next step? And I remember talking to you and you've kind of expressing all of those things. Yeah, for sure. How did you feel? And you mentioned overwhelmed. How else were you feeling at that moment? Do you remember?
Depressed, just feeling horrible. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I would get up to go to work and that was it. And put your best face on and try to get your patients through their hard day and walking in that door. So, but that's all I could do. I couldn't do anything else. I was trying, but I was failing at all those things.
And so what were you thinking at that point? Were you kind of thinking, like, is this what my life is like? Is this all it's going to be? What was going through your mind?
I just knew I didn't want to feel this miserable anymore and I needed help. Like, in some ways, it felt like rock bottom, I guess, mentally, in a way. I just knew that I was that miserable and I needed to find something. I didn't know what that something was, but I knew I needed to find something.
Yeah. And I know you came, and you know, we met initially going through the 5-day self-care tune-up. So now what hesitations, if any, did you have about working together?
Timing. So we had booked, so we did. So I still can't remember how I found you, although for the love of Facebook is all I know. But I found you that way. I did the 5-day tune-up, which was perfect because I had a week off at the beach and I could put all that into play, and it just hit. And there was something about you that was just natural. Like there was just, I felt this natural connection. I felt this natural sense of being safe, which for me is very difficult. I tried to join another group and I did not feel that at all. So I never went any further. So of course that, you know, you're stuck in a rut, you're trying to look for help and you're not finding the right person, which doesn't help. But there was something about that 5-day, there's something about you that just clicked. And then when we had that phone call and you started asking me those questions and I started bawling. So you stopped, we did the butterfly and I was like, okay, like this is where I need to be. Even though I thought it was at the worst possible time, because I thought it would be just one more thing to do, it was actually, as you said, the best time. I should not wait till September. I should not wait till December. You need to start June 1st. And looking back, I couldn't have started at a better time.
Thank you for saying that feeling about making you feel, I truly, and I think you see this, you know, in all of our calls and stuff, like I truly care about people that I get to work with. And which is why I have a conversation with everybody, because I want, first of all, I want you to have that feeling of safety and understanding and be able to clearly make a decision that works best for you. But it's also important for me to know that I can connect and really help you, because I honestly do want to make sure that the people that are in Thrivership School are there for the right reasons, and because I'm confident that we can work together and get you on your path. So, and thank you for saying that. It really, that warms my heart, and I got goosebumps. You can't see them, but I got goosebumps because I'll always remember that conversation too. So thank you. And unfortunately, I do have a habit of making people cry. But it's with love, and you know, it's why we've always got our box of tissues, right? It's always like there. So why, you kind of said it a little bit, but why did you say yes to yourself and decide to join Thrivership School?
Because of you. Because you told me that it was important enough and that I really needed to do it. And here go the tears.
I told you, I mean, I make people cry. You are important enough, and you do matter enough to take care of you. And sometimes nobody's told us before in our life that. I mean, they didn't tell me. I had to figure it out the hard way, and so I want to shortcut that for you. Yeah. What has changed for you so far over these 3 months?
I've started to actually apply some of the boundaries, which is huge.
Really,
because I am not, I am not good at that. You want to roll over someone? Well, here we go. So that is the biggest piece. Actually, you talk about things about making your world smaller, and I'm slowly working on that. I'm slowly starting to do self-care. But those are the 3 biggest things that I've noticed. Like, I actually said no to a huge commitment that I had already said yes to. And it was making me physically ill. And just being in this helped me realize why, what was going on, what had changed. And I was actually able to step back and actually not feel guilty, which is enormous for me. Yeah. Like I was just like, yeah. So for me, that was enormous because just not having that guilt.
Yeah. In just 3 months. I mean, it's amazing. And you've really, you've embraced the program. So what do you feel is possible for you now that you didn't think was even possible before you began? Like you were depressed, you were feeling kind of hopeless, stuck, like all of these things that you've just shared. What do you think is possible for you now?
To actually live that happy, healthy life. It's going to take time. It's going to be more than this program, but I'm going to have all those skills and have, ability to connect with you and everything, even after the program is over, just to keep working, just to keep that. As you always say, the baby doesn't just walk once and then do it. We've got to do these things over and over again, because all that negative stuff we've always done over and over again. That's why it's ingrained so well. And now this positive thinking, you almost have to do double the time, because you're trying to count back of what is innate in you. So that it is hard. Like, I'm like, oh, here we go. I just said that word, and it's funny, but it catches you, which is nice. Like, it's not negative. You're not punitive. You're not, we're never late. We're never behind. And even though people say things, it doesn't mean that that's the case. And what you say is really what you mean, which is huge. Like, your videos are less than 10 minutes. You've got plenty of things that really help us do it, because you promised me that it wasn't going to be overwhelming. And although I didn't believe you, you proved me wrong, which is in a good way, because you proved yourself right over and over and over again. Each week we sign in. Oh. And that's huge. Like,
yeah. Thank you. This program was put together, and by the way, you're talking about when the program's over. What makes you think it's going to be over? Maybe there's going to be a year 2.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, there we go. So, okay.
If you would get to continue having fun, these are the things that are possible. But I love that you're already looking there. You're already saying, where am I going to be when I complete this? And I love that the realization that it's not overwhelming. Like, this was really intentional for me when I did this. And everybody that's in Thrivership School has a voice. Everybody is able to come to me and say, what, I'm finding this is too much, or I don't like the way that this is done, or whatever. I'm always open to hearing. This is our program, right? It's not just a set in stone and done. And so thank you for saying that and recognizing that it can be easy. And that's the whole point. It's not to add on to your plate. It's to take stuff off your plate. What's been the best part for you so far?
The best part? That's tough. I don't know what the best part is. It's interesting, because when you click on different things, it's like, it doesn't matter which thing you're clicking on, it's what you need to hear right then, just by chance. So that's been good. The other part has been good is actually joining in. So I was a different group from what you've already had gotten started. And even though in my mind, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh no, now I'm behind. Like, it's just that and I'm like, but I wasn't. And like, going over it. And even now that I'm at month 3, getting ready to do month 3, it's like, no, this is all going over and over and over again, because as you say, you're going to pick up a different piece. You're going to hear something different. To me, it's you're planting the seed every time. And it may not be, I'm that person that the seed needs to be planted. And then when I'm ready, I can water it and let it grow. Yeah. So, and that's always been me. So this is really going to help, because those seeds will then keep replanting. Okay, we're going to keep going in that section, and we're going to grow something one day, but when you're ready. And that's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. And I love that, because I think so often we're always looking out for something new and something new and something new and something new, which means that we're always starting over.
Yeah.
Versus focusing on and there's a system that we follow in Thrivership School that has been proven by myself and hundreds of other clients that I've had over the years, over 2 decades. And it's following the system, right? Like you said, as you need. So you are never, ever behind, ever. And I think the more I say that, and we experience it in different ways, the realization really does come about, oh, I really am not behind. I'm just where I need to be right now. And this is what I need to focus on. And so I love that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with anybody that is considering joining Thrivership School? And they're maybe on the fence, they're not sure.
To know that you as a person is going to change. Like, that's another big concept that you keep saying, you're not the same person. And depending on how far you're out, depending on how, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be breast cancer, it could be any trauma that you have. That was a huge concept that I did not understand. I never fathomed to eat. No one's ever said that you're not the same person. Like, there's instances where my cousin was paralyzed and I could physically see that he wasn't, clearly, that it took him 5 years to get back to someone that we recognized. And that was so weak, but that was like an out of body thing, but I had never had anything like that to me, but it's like, oh, okay. But the biggest thing is do it. If you feel this connection, just go for it. You won't regret it. I know I don't. I'm so grateful for it. It's all in timing. Like, I wish and that's the weird thing, is I wish I knew where I first saw you to jump in for that 5 days, because then I'd be like, okay, it started here. And I guess that part's not important. And even though I try to find it, that part's not important. How I found you, it's the point that I found you, and you're helping me get to where I want to go.
I love it. Thank you. It's such an honor to be on this journey with you. I don't take it lightly. I really do get invested in the incredible women that I get to work with and be on this journey with you and watch you find that happy. And I know you're going to, because you're in the right vessel. You've got the support that you need. You're tapping into the resources that are within the Thrivership School dashboard, and you're going at your pace, and you're just embracing the journey. And I truly do. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for saying that you feel safe. That's so important to me. I think it's something that we all want to feel in our life, and yet so rarely get to experience.
Yeah.
And so that is huge. Thank you for saying that, Jeanne. I really appreciate it. And to anybody that's thinking about it, listen to Jeanne's story. This was not rehearsed. She did not know I was going to ask her or anything. And I said to her previously, please just be honest, speak from your heart, and be you, because that's all I ever want from anybody. And I can't wait to just keep enjoying this journey with you, Jeanne. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Well, thank you for being you and finding your journey and being here. Because that's why we're here, is because you found yours and you're willing to share.
Yeah.
So we're grateful of that. All the ladies that are on the group with us that do that, they all say the same thing. So that's when you know you're in the right spot too, is when you've got other individuals that you've never met, you know, and thank goodness for Zoom and, you know,
exactly, right?
Technology. We're all able to be in all different states, but yet have that one common thing.
Yeah.
And that's you.
Thank you. And the one thing I hate about Zoom is I don't get to give her a big hug right now.
Yes, that is the one piece that is missing, I have to say. So we will have to plan at some point in the future that we will meet.
Well, look for retreats. Yes.
Because what is one thing that's in common? Both of us have travel as our core values.
Yeah,
so.
This is true. And we know this because part of the program is getting to know who you are and your core values. And so, yeah, we definitely connect on that. So, well, stay tuned, Jeanne. You know,
okay,
coming. But yeah, look for that hug at some point. So thank you so much. And, if you're unsure about Thrivership School, we do offer that phone call. That's where Jeanne and I met. She signed up for that call. She took that leap of faith, took that courage to talk intimately with somebody that she never met before. And we had an incredible one-on-one conversation and connection from the go. And if you're unsure, just book that call. Let's have a chat. Let's see if it's right for you. If it's not, that's okay too. It's okay. Just like Jeanne said, when we have a connection, you feel safe, that's when you jump in and you just say, you know what, I'm going to trust it and I'm just going to go for it. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to get to meet you on a call one day soon. Bye for now.